Hey guys, it's Ryan Fowler with Inner Masculine Live. Welcome to the show. Another fun fact-filled show today. This one, I hope I do it right. The topic's a little bit complicated. I have a ton of clips to go over. I want to weigh in on the red pill movement or content creators. The red pill itself is not under attack. The red pill is just the truth. Well, I guess it's under attack, but it's always been under attack since the beginning of time. There's always been people opposing the truth, trying to hide certain truths in order to gain more power advantage or whatever. But yeah, over the last, I don't know, ever since Andrew Tate got arrested, maybe even a little more, certain red pill content creators have had their feet held to the fire. Honestly, some of it is warranted because some of them have been doing dumb, maybe even bad or evil shit. I consider myself red pill. I think my definition is broader than maybe a lot of red pill people consider the definition to be. I think it's really the original intent of the Matrix, which is, wake the hell up and understand that there is just a layer of deception thrown across us for the benefit of others to our detriment. And Ryan Harrison, I gotta put these quotes. I agree with all of this. I do watch some red pill stuff, but I am careful with what I watch. I'm going to show you guys the bad and the good. I'm going to show you the good, the bad, the ugly today. I'm going to show you some criteria to adopt to determine whether content is worth watching or not, to determine who is a good mentor, who is not a good mentor, because honestly, there's some great red pill mentors out there. I'm going to show you some. There's some awesome ones. Hopefully I'm in that category. You're the judge. There are some terrible ones, and then there's a bunch in between. There's some in the middle. There's some that are crappy. I mean, the worst is Andrew Tate. I'm going to show you guys. And I think a lot of people don't look at everything Andrew Tate has said publicly, because all you got to do is get on YouTube and really look at all the stuff he said publicly and other content creators, showing stuff he said publicly. You're going to see that he's absolute scumbag. He really is. Nonetheless, some of what he says is good content. So, some of his content's good. It is. So I'm not going to say everything's trash just because he's a psychopath, which he's probably a sociopath. Maybe I could do a whole other show on the personality traits he exhibits that shows he's probably a sociopath. Can't say for sure, but highly, highly unlikely. This is absolutely true, Ryan. Too much negative red pill content, not red pill content. Too much negative red pill content can make you angry, and girls don't like that energy. Now, a lot of red pill guys crap on the black pill guys, but they tend, because they're too negative. But a lot of red pill content wanders too much into the negative. We're going to cover that today. Do I think content should only be positive? Absolutely not. We got to cover the uncomfortable truths, but I have a lot to go over today, and I got like an hour before I got my session. So this is going to be pretty eye-opening for some people, and maybe some of you guys already have seen all this stuff. I got some Andrew Tate clips, just a very few, that are going to show some of the worst stuff he said, and it's the tip of the iceberg. It's the absolute tip of the iceberg. He has publicly admitted on YouTube, before AI could do the AI is really not good enough to copy video. It can copy audio pretty good. People's voice is pretty good. But years and years ago, he's admitted to fraud. He's admitted to tax evasion. He's admitted to money laundering publicly. And there's the Romanian court recently released an 88-page document with all sorts of evidence against him, tons. And he's saying they have no evidence. Well, my file is empty. He says my file is empty. They don't have anything against him. Well, they have an 88-page document that's been publicly released, so that's a lie. Anyways, we'll go through it all. We are going to end this on a positive note, because I have 3 or 4 really good mentors. 2 are partially red pill, 2 are hardcore red pill. I got 3 hardcore red pill. But Tim, bigger issue with any pill communities, they really do not have a solid, truthful foundation to build on. They build on some cloud in the sky they have now found. I don't know if I completely agree with that, Tim, but here's what I'll say. We are all human. No one has all the truth. And I'm going to do something on Rollo Tomassi. Now, I think north of 90% of what Rollo Tomassi says is good stuff. I think he has seriously hurt his reputation recently. And I'm going to show you where he just absolutely contradicts one of his core tenets. I'm going to show you something he said that I never do this. And then I'm going to show you doing it and absolutely contradicting himself. And that's really unfortunate for him that he created controversy probably for the sake of clout. I don't know for sure, probably, but he just absolutely did a complete 180 on one of his principles, and you got to call him out for it. And maybe it's created a lot of controversy. There's been a lot of comments on this. You know, they say there's no such thing as bad publicity. Well, a lot of his clout comes from the fact that up to this point, he's mostly more or less spoken with integrity. He can't claim that anymore. He's really damaged his reputation. We'll go into that. But we're going to go into criteria. The whole point of this show is so that you guys will learn some things so you won't be deceived and taken in by some of these red pill content creators who are absolutely hypocrites. I hate to say it, but like Donovan Sharp, he's like, don't date single mothers. And he does all this stuff, like really lambasting anyone who dates a single mother. Like he has so much content against single mothers, and his life partner, Devin, is a single mother. It's hypocrisy. I'm sorry. So, we're going to point out that and some other stuff, but we will end this on a good note. The point of this is to be educational. It's to help you guys pick good content. I'm going to give you some criteria, but I'm going to show you some stuff. So, Matt Dubia. Yeah, I think the red pill is just the truth, but the content creators, some of them have become corrupted, in my opinion. And I got some facts. I got some facts here today to back it up. And yeah, so, I more or less agree with this, Matt, Ryan. People who are watching these content creators are seeing this. It's not just they say, oh, these content creators are under attack. Maybe some of it's deserved, maybe some of it's not, but some of it definitely is deserved. I think there's great red pill mentors out there. We're going to get into that. But that's a valid observation, Matt. It's a valid observation, Ryan. It's why I'm doing my show today. A lot of guys are ignoring these glaring flaws, and that is a mistake. Don't look to these people as role models if they're blatant hypocrites, or if they go against their own values, if they're caught lying, if they're, we're going to establish the criteria. First, though, you can see, I'll just real quick, bottom left of my screen, innermasculine.com, free-ebook. You go to that link, put in your email, you'll get the ebook. It's on how our subconscious mind works and why it keeps us stuck. It's 30 pages. It's a 1-hour read, and you will now understand the fundamentals of how our subconscious works. Ask yourself, do I know, Carl Jung, father of modern psychotherapy, said, until we make the unconscious conscious, it will direct our life and we will call it fate. 90 to 95% of our behavior is decided by our subconscious. So ask yourself, do I understand how my subconscious mind works? Well, if you don't, then you don't understand why you do 90 to 95% of the things you do. And if you're trying to up level and you don't have that knowledge, you have a massive blind spot. Matt, it's 90, 95% of your behavior. You don't understand your subconscious. You want to understand that. So 90, 95% of your vision is blocked when you're trying to up level. So read the ebook. It's going to unblock it. You're going to be able to apply it to your own life. There's Tim. Tim's working with me. So Tim every Saturday is on my show. Great guy. Also does hypnosis. Yeah, it's free. Pop in your email. You'll get it. Yeah, at the end, there's a plug for sessions, whatnot. But you can do that or not. I hope you do, because my stuff's amazing. I massively help people all the time. I got the receipts. Go to my videos section on my YouTube. Watch the testimonials. I got so many freaking receipts. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Now it's entertainment. That's the problem. The red pill has gone mainstream, and people have been corrupted chasing views and fame and all that crap. That's kind of what's happened. But it doesn't mean everyone's done that, just some. So Let's dive in here. First, we're going to tackle Rollo Tomassi. Now, it's not all black and white. I don't think we should completely abandon Rollo and write him off as a scumbag. I don't. But we got to cover what's been happening and comment on it. And I'm giving you guys specific examples. Then I'm going to give you specific criteria. This is going to be educational overall. So let's look at Sneako's talking about Rollo and something Rollo said on his Twitter. That's honestly, maybe he's gotten a lot of more views, but it's really hurt his credibility. And a lot of people are saying that, not just me. So this kind of frames it here. Sneako, he's like 22, 23, 24. He's not very old. I don't agree with everything he says there. I agree with most. This is good. This frames it up.
The reason why I think I gravitate towards Islam is because the red pill ideology, I just see the red pill as the truth. I don't think it has to be a specific ideology. But Rollo tweeted something, and this is why I think this is like the step before Islam, because Rollo tweeted, the quickest path to becoming a high-value man: 1, do not get married, avoid family creation, vasectomy in your 20s, and then the rest of it is lift, eliminate sedations, like make money and network. But why the first 3 steps are get a vasectomy, don't have a family, don't get married? Why would that? How is that a high value in terms of what? Wealth, status? That's surface. That's almost and that's the main criticism of the red pill ideology, is that it's just feminism on reverse.
He's making some damn good points here. I gotta hand it.
I read that. I'm like, that's exactly what.
If everyone did what Rollo said, the human race would cease to exist.
That's right.
Where you're promoting, because the women, they're promoting promiscuity. I'm a boss bitch babe. My value is my social media and my music career. And then red pill guys are like, I'm high value because I have a network and money. No, the highest value is having a family. And red pill is promoting that you should get a vasectomy.
Yeah, no, that's a terrible idea. People. It's also deeply unhealthy, by the way. Don't do that. It messes with the way your testosterone is distributed.
Okay, so that's that. I actually think there's many ways to have value besides a family, FYI, but we don't have families. Number one, if you don't have a family unit, kids are hurt. You know, the most stable environment, the best solution we've had so far to raise kids in a healthy manner is mom and dad together raising the kids, family. So that's it. I mean, the scientific data is out there. Single parent households, first off, single fathers with kids do better than single moms. That's just the scientific data. But mom and dad together, the kids do the best. Less likely to have suicide, drug addiction, incarceration, all of that. So, hey, straight up facts here. Well, let's see. Okay, what did Rollo exactly say? Well, I'll show that real quick. Some of what he said on this post is good, but he's also he's contradicting his core values when he does this, and I'll show you why. I have so many clips here. Oh my goodness. All right, we might have to go through some of these. We're gonna go through really quick. All right, this one here, I guess I got to. There we go. Okay. Do not get married. Family creation, avoid it. Vasectomy in your 20s. So you can never have kids. Basically, you can never have kids. Lift consistently. Yeah, physical fitness is good. This weightlifting is not the only type of physical fitness. He advocates weightlifting, and I lift weights. I like lifting weights. I have a little more than average muscle on me because of it, and I think it's great. I'm not super hardcore, but I do more or less consistently lift weights to some degree. It makes you more attractive to women, but it's not the only way to be fit. You know, eliminate all sedations. I actually don't agree with this. I think eliminate most. I think sometimes you want to chill out, go for it. You know, eliminate most. Let's say that. Learn game and networking. Yeah, absolutely. Play to your strengths, build wealth. Absolutely. Unless you want to be a surfer bum. If that's what you want, go for it. Resist easing up on your focus. Well, you can't stay focused all the time, but more or less, you know, no one has focus perfectly, but yeah, you know, more or less, hey, let's keep going, you know, take some vacations and breaks, but let's keep going. Well, I I don't know for sure. I think Rollo did this for clout. I think Rollo was trying to intentionally create controversy here, but I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of as to why he would say something so idiotic, because this does not match with data. I'm going to show you all the extremely high value men according, and it's completely opposite of how high value men really are. Andrew Tate has 10 to 12 kids. I'm going to show you that. So I don't like Andrew Tate, but he's high value, and it's disproving what Rollo's saying here. So the only thing, everything else Rollo said is backed by science. It is. He does a lot of research. Good for him. And that's why up to this point, 95% of what he says, I pretty much agree with. I did a show on the iron rules of Tomassi, which I don't think are perfect, but I think overall they're a pretty good guide. But here's the problem. Well, I'm just going to show you where the errors are now. So that's the quote. Start closing windows because first off, he's kind of saying, man, there's so much to go through here, guys. I literally got like 15 slides, 15 different things to go through. Okay, here's Rollo's own words. No prescriptions. See, this is a website, Rational Mail. No prescriptions. You want to know why I don't do prescriptions on the Rational Mail? Because we disempower ourselves when we follow someone else's path and not our own. And then what does he do? He writes a prescription. What the hell, Rollo? So by doing this, Rollo has, number one, made himself a hypocrite. Number two, he's given very bad advice. Number three, he's given advice that doesn't match what's going on in the real world. I'm going to show you that next. Now, I don't think we should just automatically discount everything Rollo said. But it's shit like this which is leading the red pill movement's feet to be held to the fire. Now, the red pill itself is the truth. I'm all for it. Alex Jones, same problem, same thing happened with him. He's always been pretty sloppy, but he's had some really core things no one else would report on. He did. They were true. And power to him for that. But then he got too big for his britches, and he started making a massive amount of mistakes and getting extremely sloppy. And just, he's not a trustworthy source now. I mean, he's not, and he hasn't been for years and years. And started becoming very irresponsible, too big for his own britches. And now what's happened? He's got like $1 billion judgment against him. I mean, divorce now. I mean, it's a mess. So a lot of times as people start to get clout, they begin to abandon their values for the sake of clout. And I'm sorry, Rollo, that's what you're doing here. If you want to preserve your reputation and your integrity, backtrack this and stop doing it. But hey, it's his life. I think most of what he says is still good, but now we got to take it with a grain of salt. I mean, we should always take it with a grain of salt, but I'm going to show you some criteria here. And it's kind of a shame because all in all, I like Rollo. Let me show you this criteria, and we're going to kind of look at it and compare it to all these guys. Oops, hold on. Here's a criteria I have. Oh, I have it right here. All right. Minimum criteria for choosing a good mentor or content creator. This is a guide. It's not a strict rule set. Some of these people might not have one of these. There's more rules you can add, but this is kind of minimum rule set. And if someone maybe is a little shaky on one of these, don't throw it all away, but do what they say with a grain of salt. Is the content more positive than negative? If it is, it's uplifting and helping. I'm not saying 100% positive, but if it's too negative, it will put you in a negative frame of mind if you watch it all the time, if you take it too much to heart. And the truth is not all negative. Ultimately, the truth is empowering. Ultimately, the truth helps you, or it should. And if people focus on negative facts too much, even if 100% of the facts they focus on are true, but if they're only focusing on the negative, their viewpoint is skewed because they are not being balanced. They're ignoring the positive that's also true. That right there is a distortion. So is the content more positive than negative? It should be empowering, empower you. If it's only positive, that can be a problem too, because there are negative truths out there. There are uncomfortable truths, that we need to be aware of. There is evil in the world. There are people doing bad stuff. So, but if a content is mostly negative, you need to limit watching that content. Otherwise, you will become mostly negative. Nietzsche said something along the lines of beware staring. If you stare into the abyss long enough, you become it, or something about you become the monster you seek to kill. I will put the Nietzsche quote in my YouTube content section, the text at the bottom after the show. Does a mentor walk the walk, or is he hypocritical and self-contradictory? Well, unfortunately, Rollo is being not necessarily hypocritical. Well, maybe, but not really. But he is contradicting himself. He said, he said it over and over. This isn't a one-off, him saying, I don't do prescription. I've heard him a dozen times on his show say, I don't do prescriptions. Here he is giving you a prescription. And the 9 iron rules of Tomassi is sort of prescription, but it's broad enough where you can just say it's not necessarily a prescription, just observe these rules. But now he's being pretty specific. And if that isn't a prescription, don't get a vasectomy. I don't know what is. Is the mentor successful in his field? Does he have receipts? Well, Rollo has written 4 books. I would say those are receipts. He is successfully married. His wife is attractive. So I would say, and a lot of what he does is backed by science. You can research the studies. They're right there, and he references them. Some stuff is skewed. For example, people quote that only the top 5% of guys on Tinder are attractive to women and get all the swipes, and then they get a ton. Well, that's Tinder. Tinder is fundamentally different than dating women in real life. Women look at a massive amount of stuff. They look at your personality, how you make them feel, all these intangibles you cannot get from a Tinder profile. And my interpretation is the reason they're so picky on Tinder is because they only have a few things to look at of all the many things women can be attracted to. Well, Rollo doesn't interpret that way. I won't get too much into that, but otherwise his data is good and no one's perfect. Is a content creator at least 30 years old? Exception fitness or athletics. Okay, why am I saying this? Well, if someone's 29, 28, okay, if they're a genius trader and they got serious receipts, okay, make an exception there. Or they're a genius athlete, okay. Although their coach 20 years older than them is a better coach than they are, But so this isn't a hard and fast rule, but there is a certain amount of life experience you need to accumulate to be a good mentor for others. Otherwise, you just don't have enough perspective. That's just true. This is not a hard and fast rule, but honesty is probably more like 35 or older. That's just how it is. So you need that life experience. You need to go through a range of experience so you get a more overall perspective. The older you get, the better that perspective tends to get. Not a hard and fast rule, I would say. Now, I'm saying this is a guide, not a strict rule set. But let's reference this throughout, because this is going to filter out a lot of the people who should not be your mentor. It really will. And it's important to take good information in. You take in too much negativity, it will affect you. I talk about the subconscious mind a lot, but I also talk about how outside influences, our self-talk, etc., also affects us. It's not as important as the subconscious, but it's still important. It still does matter. It still can have a big effect on our life. So I'm going to just start going through. I think the show is going to start actually getting more. You might find it interesting yet. Just wait till we get to Andrew Tate, man. Let's see here. Some of the comments here. Talk about red pill all the time is Spurgy. And yeah, I usually, 90% of my shows, I don't even say red pill, but I agree, Are you treating it like a religion? Don't be so stuck on it. It becomes a religion to you. Oh, please not. It's just the truth. We adhere to the truth. We're searching for the truth that may otherwise be hidden by those who don't have our best interests at heart, including society, the government, etc. So, yeah, I mean, if a woman's receptive, I'll talk to her. Most are not about red pill truth. That's okay. You know, we don't have to force anything on anyone. That's agreed. Ryan Harrison, Rollo doesn't know how to deal with slowly becoming less relevant, especially that's very apt because I'm going to show you a Tom Bilyeu clip. His channel has like 3.5-4 million subscribers. He's talking about hypergamy. So here's an interesting thing about the red pill. Some red pill concepts have gone mainstream. Maybe not like 99% of people know about it, but 40-50%, a lot, such as hypergamy. As it becomes more mainstream, there's people who are just more clout than Rollo. Now, Rollo's a successful guy. I think he's a good guy. It's look at the UFC. The early UFC fighters were pioneers. If you had an early UFC fighter go up against a UFC fighter now, the early guy would get clobbered. You know, it's just the new generation comes along, and there are people, you know. Jordan Peterson has picked up on some red pill comments. I saw a Jordan Peterson clip about shit tests. He was talking about different ways women will shit test. I've also heard him talk about hypergamy. I don't consider him fully red pill. I think he's maybe half and half. He's figured some stuff out. Same thing with Tom Bilyeu. And so as the arena, you know, as the audience widens, there's going to be people who are more influential, and there are people who are more influential than Rollo who are stepping in. And you know what? Good for them. And he does, like, he's pissed at just Pearly Things. Now, I think just Pearly Things, you can argue she's good or not, but she's red pill, and she is she has more clout than him. She has well over 1 million subscribers. He has like 200,000. It is what it is, Rollo. You were the grandfather. You got that badge of honor. I don't think he'll ever be completely irrelevant. I think he'll always be an authority to some degree, and great. But you can't always be at the top of the pyramid. And, you know, a lot of my shows don't place your value on being the best or being, you know, millionaire, you're always going to want more. You know, don't place your value on that. Yeah, I love you guys. It's okay if he isn't the top. You don't need to be the top. The issue that, you know, I don't think he'll ever completely go away. And hey, you know, it's okay to build on his knowledge and expand on it. That's fine. I do think he gets jealous over not being number one. So I agree with you, Ryan. But, you know, I can't say that for sure. Okay, so we got so much stuff to go over here. Let me close down some of this stuff. All right, so just another thing. I told you, you guys want to think critically. If someone says something that seems off, before you adopt that belief, do a little research. Maybe you don't want to do research. Fine. Don't adopt the belief. Don't take it in. I'll show you what I mean. Rollo talks about high value men, you know, to be the fastest path to being high value. Get a vasectomy, don't create families. Well, let's see what the data says. Let's see if that plays out in the real world. Oh, look, Jeff Bezos has 4 kids. Okay, well, maybe Jeff is just a one-off. Maybe most of the extremely high value captains of industry, leaders of our society, maybe that's a one-off. Oh, shit, Elon Musk is a dad of 10. Okay, hey, Rollo, your prescription is starting to look a little sketchy here, you know. I'm sorry, but, you know, you're going to say shit like this publicly when you are an influential guy, then we have every right to, you know, my stuff should be scrutinized. And you know what? Maybe one of these days I'm going to say something that isn't exactly true because I'm imperfect. Okay. Then I'm not saying throw Rollo out. I'm not saying that at all. I think most of his stuff is still really good. But if you are irresponsible like he was, I don't think Rollo is a fundamentally bad person at all. But look, okay, Bill Gates, 3 kids. So now these guys have had missteps. You know, they've had bad relationships, divorces. Bill's divorced. Bill Gates is divorced. And Elon Musk, he's had breakups. And then Jeff Bezos divorced, as we all know. There's a show on Netflix about Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnold, super high value man, not just money. Like no one can argue Arnold Schwarzenegger is not high value. He's been a governor. He's been a movie star. He's been a champion weightlifter. Did he get a vasectomy? Does he have not kids? No. So this is a lesson for you guys. If people say stuff, research it out a little bit before just blindly adopting whatever the hell anyone says. And you don't have to do that, but if you don't, you're going to be a lot more deceived. And if you if you then get a vasectomy without researching out, that's on you, buddy. That's you being stupid. So, I don't mean to shame anyone, but dude, just straight up, be careful. Agreed. His foundational work is irreplaceable. So Rollo is much more good than bad. But the people wonder why the red pill's being attacked is because dumb shit like this is going on. And Rollo, what he said is there's worse stuff out there. I'm going to get to that. Then come the doers. Yeah. Now, MLD, I like. I'm going to talk about MLD. I think MLD is not perfect, but I think he is also very good. And I think he has more integrity than Rollo. Unfortunately for Rollo, good for MLD. I'll talk about MLD. I'm on the Men's Empowerment Network. I endorse it. Inner Game Healing. I endorse it. I'm not going to say John MLD hasn't made missteps, but he is a fundamentally good person. Hey, I've made missteps too. So no one's perfect. I'm not going to ignore that and pretend someone's perfect, but he is a fundamentally good person, and his Men's Empowerment Network, Inner Game Healing, has helped a lot of guys, and he is overall the real deal. So he is overall an honest person. So, okay, let's keep. I think the viral attack against him was greatly exaggerated. Yeah, I mean, maybe they could, there's some things there, but yeah, it's absolutely exaggerated and unfair. All right, let's move on to Andrew Tate. Oh, by the way, Andrew Tate, other high value man. So the lesson here is prove this stuff out. Just don't blindly believe it. Look, 10 to 12 kids. So, yeah, that Rollo, what the hell were you thinking when you wrote that? Okay. Here's Andrew Tate. Some people blindly follow Andrew Tate. I don't think we should blindly follow Trump. I don't think we should blindly follow Andrew Tate. I don't think we should blindly follow anyone, especially if they contradict themselves. And yeah, Trump does contradict himself. I think he does a lot of good. I think he's a complicated guy. But we'll go back to the criteria. Andrew Tate's a scumbag. Sorry, but there's overwhelming evidence at this point that he is. I'm going to show you some of this. Here we are. Now, if you guys are wondering if Andrew Tate is actually guilty or not of crimes, well, here's a criminal defense lawyer. He's made like 25 videos analyzing evidence of Andrew Tate. And I'm going to show you bits of it here. Andrew Tate has said plenty of stuff publicly on YouTube to hang himself. So we'll get into it. I actually have 2 videos on him here. And Andrew Tate is literally 2 different people. The one version of Andrew Tate I 95% agree with, where he's like empowering men, get off your butt, work hard, make something of yourselves. Agree with that 95%. I don't think you need a Bugatti. I mean, if you're a billionaire and you get one, great. But, how much better is it than a 911 Turbo, or a Z06 or whatever? And do you even need a Z06 if you don't care? If you don't care about cars, don't get one. You don't need that stuff. It's cool. If you really want it, go for it. But it's about what you want. All right, here's some Andrew Tate stuff.
Of his business.
Is he the real deal or not? I mean, listen, here's the bottom line. One version of Andrew Tate is a great, likable guy who has a good, positive message for men. The other is terrible. He is literally Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I mean, figuratively, but it's a perfect match for Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. If you see someone contradicting themselves to this degree, they should not be your mentor. If they contradict themselves this badly, then please don't, because it's his behavior is so egregious. And honestly, you have to, I know a lot of red pill content creators are standing up for him. It's a huge mistake. They're either I think a lot of them are willfully ignorant. They haven't studied it out. And honestly, it makes them look bad. And Tate, north of 95% chance he's going to jail for many years. He is screwed, most likely. I'd be willing to bet. Someone wants to bet me $1,000, put in escrow or something like that, where it's legit that he's going to jail versus not. I'll take that bet. Honestly, you right in. We got to set it up where the money's in escrow, but yeah, anyways. So this is a criminal defense attorney. He's giving you facts. Here we go. Here's some facts. You can't dispute this stuff. Here we go.
The stealings in this area. Now, let's see how he operates. By his own words. These are his own words.
Also, when you're real G, is that you're here, you're there, you're everywhere. You got to go to Poland, you got to go to Warsaw, fucking Dubai, Miami. Anyone who watches Tate Confidential knows I'm all over the place. So I end up with all these chicks just stuck in their house, sitting there, bored, completely in love with me. And of course, they don't go out. They're not allowed.
They're not allowed
out.
So
they're not allowed out.
I got all these chicks.
He's literally said they are allowed out. So he's contradicted himself there. One of those two statements is a lie. They can leave whenever they want. He said that several times. Here he's saying they're not allowed out. Which one's a lie, Andrew?
They're in love with
this is a tiny tip of the iceberg. We'll keep going.
me. They don't go out. They're not allowed out. So restricting somebody of their movement is part of force, fraud, or coercion. Because what happens if they go?
He's interpreting the law here as to sex trafficking. And this is true. This is an expert on the legal meaning of sex trafficking, what matters in a court. He is doing analysis here, legal analysis as a legal criminal lawyer expert.
Tate's away, so they go out with their friends. No. You don't go to the club with your friends. I don't know what kind of bitch-ass dude is letting his chicks go to the club with her friends without him. No, you stay in the house. You don't go nowhere. You're not, no restaurants, no clubs, nothing.
You don't think this is in his criminal file? He's publicly said his criminal file is empty. You don't think that's evidence in there? It absolutely is.
Do you get to eat? Do you get to take a shit? I mean, when you start controlling
this is far from the worst. This is mild compared to other stuff I'm going to show you.
Somebody like that. That is the crux of you come here on a promise of whatever, but when you get here, I control your every movement. That's coercion. That's absolute coercion.
And that's a felony crime in Romania.
I don't even have to fuck you. Forget the sex part. That's a distraction. My dick can stay in my pants. I'll just start beating the shit out of you. How about that? We walk in the bedroom. I start kicking your ass. No.
Do you wonder why he's called a misogynist? I mean, you guys got to look at this, and you have to just people. And there's literally people who I otherwise think are pretty good guys, who say Andrew's just misunderstood, misrepresented. I know the real Andrew. He's really a good guy. No good guy would say this, whether it's a play or not. Number one, he's not telling anyone that he's playing. So his later statements that, oh, this isn't the real me. Well, what do you expect, man? You say stuff like this on the internet and you're surprised people call you a misogynist. You're either lying when you act surprised, or you're one of the stupidest humans on the face of this planet.
No sex. No.
But I think this is the real him. I think this is the real him, and he's trying to I think this is why he claims to be religious, to cover up the fact that he's a scumbag.
No sex involved. But you cry then.
Here's a little move. When I grab you by your neck and you start annoying me, trying to resist, and I just...
Now he goes on Fresh and Fit, and he says, I would never hit a woman. I love women. Women are great. This is what I mean. You go back to my criteria here, then I got more. But listen, man, anyone contradicts himself to this degree, ditch them. They are not a good mentor. Go back to their career. This is good criteria here. This will help you not be deceived. Does the mentor walk the walk, or is he hypocritical and self-contradictory? Well, he walks the walk to being rich. If you want to be a pimp who runs a webcam business and later goes to jail for sex trafficking, then follow the footsteps of Andrew Tate. Yep, he's a good mentor there if you want that path. But he's being a hypocrite here. He's contradicting himself about, do you think Islam that he converted to condones this? Do you think this, is he a devout Muslim? Are these the things devout Muslims say? You know, yeah, this is bad. He's going to jail. Do you guys really think you could have stuff like that on the internet and you're not going to jail? Anyone who thinks that is just sorely mistaken. We have to think critically and look at things impartially. Don't get so enamored with someone with a Bugatti that you don't look at all the terrible stuff they do. Don't blindly follow these guys. Think objectively. This is where you want to use your cognitive brain. It's not all just subconscious in this world. All right. So we got more. Do you think this is the only stuff on Andrew out? This is like 1/10 of 1% of the bad stuff he said. I'm going to show you a little more. Yeah, I wonder if there's more on this specific video. Let's see. I think there's maybe a little. I got another video. This guy's done 25 videos on Andrew Tate, and every one has damning stuff like this on it. Really bad stuff that he said on Andrew Tate said on YouTube publicly. And then people are like, oh, that's not the real Andrew. Bullshit. A self-respecting man would not say that, period. Even as a joke.
Opposed to that, what he said.
And if he does say it, he deserves to be raked over the coals, because what we say matters. You know, okay, First Amendment means the government won't interfere. That doesn't mean there's no consequences for what you say.
On Fresh and Fit. It just doesn't jive. That is.
Watch this whole clip because he actually shows Andrew Tate on Fresh and Fit saying he never hit a woman. He's contradicting himself 180 in the worst way possible.
That is who he's got to be in order to control these women, in order to keep the money coming in. Because he was broke before, right? Now he's making money off the backs of all these ladies, and they're
okay. I think I want to stay focused on the actual video clips. I think that was the clips I wanted to show, but there's here's the next one. We got another one on Mr. Tate. Okay. Now, this one's much more recent. I think it's a month old. It's 3 weeks ago. The Romanian court released an 88-page document justifying why he's under house arrest, etc. He should be indicted this month. We'll see. But this 88-page document has evidence that has been vetted and admitted to the court. And it's 88 pages. It's not all evidence, but there's a lot of evidence. When they stormed his compound, they seized phones and computers with a lot of damning stuff in it. You're going to see some of it here. This is from the actual Romanian court document with admitted evidence against Andrew Tate, which means this is vetted and been proven legit. Here we go. When evidence is admitted into court, there's a stringent process they have to follow to get rid of all the fake, crappy evidence.
Several videos on the YouTube platform in which the defendant talks about what he does.
This is the real Andrew Tate. Listen up.
And from which his approach to women results, and asked the defendant questions about these aspects. Now, this is important because this is where he kind of, has to kind of cover up what he's doing, right? Because this isn't just all open and above board. And anybody that follows him, any of you young guys who paid money to Andrew Tate, listen to how he talks about you guys. He says right off the bat, you're not stupid, and you probably guess how I make so much money. I have to hide what I really do.
That's evidence of money laundering right there.
Webcam, she says. For a long time, I did this with a team of girls who worked on video chat. The company was fake. Yes, but that's how I wash my dirty money.
Do you think he's not going to jail for money laundering when they have, this is like 1/10 of 1% of the evidence they have against him? You think he's not going to jail? You think he's not going to get convicted?
After that, men started to be jealous and started asking how I can start a video chat business. They will never.
He actually did do a video chat business that's just what he's telling this girl because they have they have so much evidence against that. And I mean, these girls were on the internet. It was all public.
Do this because they are losers. They're losers. But
yeah, that's what Tate really thinks of his students, losers.
They like the idea. So I started charging men to teach them. Dudes, he's full of shit. He's 100% full of shit.
By the way, there are excerpts of these videos that where Tate's describing how to control these girls and what to do. And he's spelling out exactly what self-trafficking is for the legal definition. You notice earlier he talked about the women are not allowed to go out. Well, right there, that's coercion. He also talks publicly about how he withheld money from them and told them it was going to pay taxes, and then he just pocketed it and never paid the taxes. That's fraud. They have so much evidence against him. It's ridiculous.
And these are text messages between...
This is admitted court evidence.
He and you or UA. But they like the idea. So I started charging men to teach them. That's what those videos are about. It's all a cover. You understand? Now it goes deeper. Some of the girls worked for me. I used them to do other things, to move money or illegal things.
Boom, money laundering right there. They nab him on money laundering right there. I was on a cell phone seized from the compound they raided, his compound.
Documents. So there's two things going on here. Number one, he's got the illegal activity, whatever it happens to be, whether it's money laundering, selling drugs, or whatever.
Now, you guys can go through the rest of this, but listen, man, don't just blindly accept your red pill mentors. This criteria is great criteria because it's going to keep you guys from following people who are not going to lead you down a good path. They're just not. Let's go back to the criteria here. Oops. Yeah, here we go. Boom. All right. I should add to this. Don't follow anyone who's a gangster or doing illegal stuff. To his credit, Rollo Tomassi actually did a show saying that, yeah, Tate is probably guilty of money laundering and tax evasion and other illegal activity. Unlike a lot of these content creators, he actually kind of stood by where the evidence led. Is the content more... Andrew Tate has much more negative content than positive. He has content where he says most people are more worthless than worms, where he's amazing and everyone should bow at his feet and worship him and learn from him because they're such losers. He's constantly... If someone's constantly calling people losers, bitches, this, that, and the other, constant negative talk, constant... shaming, putting others down. Doesn't matter if they're putting you down specifically or not. If they're doing that, they are a bad mentor. The neuroscience says when you do that, it literally disempowers people. It literally makes people give up. It discourages them. It keeps them small. It makes it harder for those people to succeed. So anyone who claims to want to help people and then calls people bitches, losers, etc., maybe someone like, punch that guy's kid and he's like, I'm going to F you up, you freaking bitch or loser. Okay, acceptable. But I'm talking in general when they're doing content, if they're constantly calling people that, hard pass, okay? Your subconscious does not take that well. I have the science on it. I have showed you scientific studies about this. So is the content more positive than negative? Tate's no, fail. Is he a hypocrite? Self-contradictory? Yes, fail. Successful? He is successful in his field. If you want to be a criminal, but is he really successful? Because now he's in jail. If he gets loose, maybe you can say he's successful. But do you want to get dragged to jail even if you're proven innocent? Well, don't do what he says. I'd be shocked if he's proven innocent. But we'll see. It might take another year to fully prosecute this. We'll see. Maybe a year and a half. Who knows? That's how the justice system works. I worked in the legal world for about 20 years. More in litigation, but dude, stuff moves slowly. Just trust me. It's not unusual. These are very complex cases. This is a very complex case against Andrew because they have so much, that they got to sort through. Does his information line up with real world data? Man, I won't even go there. That's you could do a whole show on that, whether it does or not. To a point, I think it does. he had this video on like 100 different business points, and actually some of it was really good. I think in some ways he is a very good businessman, and he's legit former world champion kickboxer. He's in legit good shape. In some ways, Andrew is extremely competent, more competent than me in some areas. Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, he's not a hard fail on everything, but red flags, man. Watch out for the red flags. Choose good mentors. Now, let's go to some of the good stuff here. This is not all negative. This is more a warning. Don't adopt guys. You know, I'm sorry, Donovan Sharp, if you rail all day how terrible single mothers are while you are partnered with a single mother, that hypocrisy right there, disqualification. You can't trust someone who is lying at such a core fundamental level. I'm sorry. Is a lot of information of his good? I think so. You can't trust what's good and what's not because he doesn't believe anything he's saying, you know, or he doesn't believe some of the really big things he's saying, obviously, because he does the exact opposite of what he preaches. I'm sorry. Listen, man, if they're doing that, they're disqualified. I'm not talking about minor stuff here. People maybe have a minor, say this thing or that thing, you know, minor stuff. I think that's one of the reasons they're going after John MLD is he said some minor stuff in the past. He's had some issues in the past, but he is overall a good guy. He is overall the real deal. So it's not black and white. He's helping a ton of guys. He is. John MLD's helping a ton of guys. That's why I present on his webinars. You know, also that's good for my business, you know. And then I help guys, and I got the receipts. So, you know, Rollo, I don't think we should totally disregard Rollo now. I think he still has a lot of good information, but he has hurt his credibility. Mentioned a few times how he's doing the chat for cam girls, and they would fleece cents for tens of thousands of dollars while playing victim. And actually, Pepsa, there is video online where he admits to scamming some guys out of over $1 million, where he talks about all this manipulation. The girl's going to visit him, and then the girl doesn't, and says, "Oh, I have this emergency. I need some money. Then I can see you." And then the girl never visits. Just straight up fraud, straight up con man fraud. Over $1 million for some dudes that he has defrauded them with the cam girl business. So yeah, it's there is so much against Andrew Tate. It is absolutely ridiculous. Do not look to him as any sort of role model or mentor. Maybe if he has a kickboxing course, okay, do that because he's a good kickboxer. You know. All right. Are there good mentors out there? Absolutely. Let's get to some positive stuff. There are good mentors out there. There's good mentors out there in the red pill. I'm going to show you some. These guys tend to not be as flamboyant. They tend to not be as flashy. They're not going to have, they're just not. It's like me. We're focused more on the truth. We're focused more on teaching people than being sensationalist and getting clicks and views. You know, Fresh and Fit, there's a lot of sensationalism there. There's also some good information there mixed in with a lot of shit information, honestly. But there's a lot of good information there too. I'll leave that to your discretion, guys. You know, there's a mix of good and bad. They have a day show where they teach like real estate investing and just other stuff. And that's actually a lot better than to watch the after hours. But on after hours, hey, we do need to be aware of the dark side of female behavior because other not, you're probably going to get taken for a ride. So to a point, their show's good, but the best red pill coaches are just giving you really good information. They really are. Maybe there's some, you know, like John MLD, he's, he has these commercials professionally produced. It's good. And he has a lot of good information. So I would say John MLD's the exception. I'm going to show you Red Pill Thor, who does a little of that too. Red Pill Thor, not as nearly as popular. Just because he hasn't been doing it as long, and he has a wife who's has a severe back injury. So I don't think yet, but Red Pill's he's a stud. I'm going to show you all these guys, and I'm going to weigh them against the criteria as whether or not they're a good Red Pill coach. So here we go. This guy I really like. He's related to my field. He's different. He's more conventional, and conventional therapy has its place. Psych hacks. He can't clear trauma like I can, not anywhere close, but that he still has tons of utility, tons of usefulness. And this guy's red pill, he's actually made comments on the red pill, what red pill is. He talks about a lot of intersexual dynamics, and all of his messages are focused on actually helping you, educating you, how to be a man, why women. This is probably the most objective, science-based red pill content creator on the internet today, I would say. And so his stuff is great. You don't watch his videos and come off angry at the end, at the unfairness of, all these women treating us men terribly, which is, that's how feminism got started, right? Oh, look at all these men oppressing us. And then when the red pill, a lot of red pill content creators do the same thing. Women are unfair to men. It's what feminism did that started this whole mess. So yeah, I wouldn't do that. His content, it's educational. You're going to learn stuff. It's going to empower you. Let's see. Now, I don't know his exact income, but he did allude that occasionally he does job interviews for psychologists, PhD psychologists. And he says he makes 4 times as much as whatever they offer. And he's in, he lives in California. So maybe they offer him 100,000. He makes 4 times that. I believe it in private practice. He's really popular. So let's weigh this guy against the criteria. I'm giving you guys a tool to pick good mentors. I'm showing you who to just get the frick rid of and who to really pick so that they don't screw up your life if you internalize terrible. And some of these guys do screw up their life. EC Smooth, welcome to the show, my man. EC, good friend. All right. Let's look at this. Okay. Is the content more positive than negative for Psychex? Absolutely. He's been on the Whatever podcast, by the way. His subscribers are going up like 1,000 or 2,000, probably 1,000 a week. He's growing. He'll be at 1 million. It's just a matter of time. 3 years, 5, I don't know. Does he walk the walk or is he hypocritical? I mean, his message is consistent. He hasn't done anything to contradict himself yet, and he's been around like 3 years. So far, so good. Is he successful in his field? Absolutely. He has a PhD. Does he have receipts? Well, he has his PhD and he's in private practice. Some receipts he can't show due to, patient confidentiality, all of that, but he has a PhD. So that's a pretty good receipt. That's a sign of success. It is not easy to get a PhD. Does his information line up with real world data? Yeah, everything he does is science-based and he has the studies to prove it. He's a scientist. That's what he does. Science of psychology. Is a content creator at least 30 years old? Yeah, he's in his mid to late 30s. He has life experience. Flying colors. Boom. That's a good mentor. If you guys really want to up level, don't look at Andrew Tate or these other massive hypocrites. You can't trust them. This guy, so far he's proven very trustworthy. I watch his stuff all the time. I've commented on some of his stuff on my show. It's great. Let's see. Okay, moving on. I'll show you the next good guy. This guy, let's see. I love Red Pill Thor. Watch this. What a frickin'. This guy is so the real deal. By the way, he's like 60 years old now, and he has a physique like that. That's amazing. All right, let me tell you what I like about Red. Dude, he's such a stud, man. So if you think, maybe you think the psych hack guy, the psych hacks doesn't look like he works out. Well, dude, neither does Jeff Bezos. So, shut the hell up. You don't have to do this specific prescription. Is working out good? Yes. But, you know, don't disqualify someone if they don't work out. Well, no excuses here. I personally know Red Pill Thor, and he is a dominant leader, manly man, a freaking rock star, a stud, but also a very kind man. His wife has a severe back injury, and he has been by her side unfailing. They've been married like 30 years. I think they have 1 or 2, maybe 3 kids. He's like 59, 60, and he's in that kind of shape. So, and he's also financially successful. You know, he does manly stuff. He's a lineman. It's a dangerous job. He got severely injured on the job once. He made a mistake, and he owns up to it. He's like, I made a mistake. That's why I got electrocuted, you know. If anyone's the real deal, it is Thor. And he is such a good example of a benevolent alpha male. There are alpha males in prison, you know, Exhibit A, Andrew Tate, although he's under house arrest now. Yeah, just wait. Give it a year. He'll be in prison again. You don't want to follow those alpha males unless you want to go to prison like them or end up with terrible dysfunctional relationships, end up divorced. Alpha males get divorced, you know, all the time, you know. So let's see how Thor adds up to this criteria. This is good criteria. Use this criteria, guys. Is his content more positive than negative? Much more positive. He's like, hey, here's how to prep a meal. Here's, you know, I'm going to talk to you about TRT, HGH, other ways to up-level yourself, how to handle women. It's educational, positive, empowering. Does he walk the walk? Well, you've seen his receipts. He's never contradicted himself at all, ever. There's never been any secret stuff that came out because he texted some girl saying, you can come on my show if you have sex with me first. I'm looking at you, Myron. Sorry. You know, he doesn't do shit like that hidden. You know, it's never came out. He's a great guy. Is he successful in his field? Yeah, absolutely. In his field, he's successful. He's a senior lineman. He trains others. Look at it. 60 years old in that kind of shape. Has kids, has a loving wife. Does he have receipts? He absolutely does. Does his information line up with real world data? Yeah, because he uses it for himself, and you can see the results. Is the content at least 30 years old? Yeah, he's 60. So he has lots of life wisdom. He's keeping it positive. He's empowering you. He walks the walk better than almost anyone I know of. His body is his receipt, among other things. He's successful in his field. He's just a freaking stud. He passes the test. These are the mentors you want. Okay, let's go on. I think I got one more here. All right, I'll show you. I'll be quick because, man, I gotta message my guy and say I'll be 10 minutes late. Hold on. I have a session now, but I'm gonna finish this up for you dudes. I think this guy, he already rescheduled on me, so if I'm a little late, it's, you know, I think it'll. But yeah, I gotta wrap it up in 5 minutes. All right, let's back to this. Okay. I already talked about John MLD. His course is excellent. He really does help people. We're a little short on time, so I'll get to these other guys here, but I already did kind of give his plug. People aren't perfect. Don't expect them to be perfect. Expect them to be good, solid, successful people who walk the walk and have integrity. That's the bottom line. And have life wisdom. Things match up with, yeah, okay. Almost done with the show, but I got to show you these other guys here. Because the red pill is going mainstream. You want to see it going mainstream? Yeah, my guy just said it's cool if we're a little late. Here, so Tom Bill, you look at that, 3.56 million subscribers. He has a net worth of $400 million. He's a stud. Here's a red pill going mainstream. And by the way, this guy's content is great. This is going to empower you. This is going to help you. I don't think he's hardcore red pill, but I thought it was great that he's discussing red pill topics to show that the red pill has grown. And it'll be good if it goes a little mainstream and gets tempered a little bit, because as a whole, the red pill movement has been a little too negative, has been a little too sensationalist, hasn't done as good a job of empowering men. There's a reason people have red pill rage. Part of it is the message of the red pill is oftentimes framed in a manner that makes people angry. Well, you get more clicks and views that way, but it's not necessarily in your best interest to be pissed off. You should feel encouraged, empowered, take the information and use it to kick ass, not be angry or depressed.
Grounded, that allow him to be purposeful.
This girl has little bits of truth in her, but a lot of just feminist blue pill bullshit. You'll see if you watch this video. I won't be able to do it right away, but later tonight I'll put all these links in the chat. But listen to Tom here.
And mission driven.
He actually exposes how ignorant this lady is, because this lady is a sex therapist, and if she doesn't understand what he's talking about, which she doesn't, it just shows she doesn't know everything she needs to.
Decides what we're doing, where we're going. He is leading, I am following. We've started to line up our energy.
She does talk about the man needing to lead, so she has some good stuff.
And circulate that, so we're in a more connected, erotic place.
Are you familiar with the idea of hypergamy?
I don't think so.
Oh God,
Boom. Oops, exposed.
This is so interesting.
Exposed for not knowing what you should, lady. You're a sex therapist. If you don't understand that aspect of intersexual dynamics, not good. By the way, she's a boss babe who tries to then embrace her feminine side. You can't really fully do that. Sorry. You can't go to work for 10 hours being a boss babe and fully become feminine. It's not how it works. You can try. It can help to a point. But anyway.
So as you were describing all of that, I'm literally shocked to my core that you don't get pushback from younger people, which is amazing. I'm very grateful. So I may just have a misread.
Doesn't, because she's a woman. That's part of it. Sorry. It's just the truth. It's just the truth. Us red pillars know it. They can say stuff that men can't. Men will get lambasted for saying things women get away with all the time.
But
it's just the truth.
What resonates with me there is, so hypergamy, just to define that quickly, is the female tendency to date across socially or up. Women do not date down. So they want a guy that makes more money than them. They want a guy that they perceive as smarter than them. They're always trying to go across or up. So at least as smart, at least as much money or more. And they're perfectly fine with that. Guys don't do that. So guys could not care less how little money you make. In fact, you probably make them feel awesome if they make more money than you. But because women date across and up, as women go more into the workforce, as women realize, hey, we're just as smart as the guys, we're just as capable, you're now setting the bar higher and higher, making it harder for men to lead, because you never want to say to somebody, slow down so I can lead, right? So the guy then needs to outperform. But I think this is part of what's creating this problem, is that, one, it's just taboo, at least from where I'm sitting in the social media circles that I run in. It would be very taboo to say, women, you want to find a guy that can lead.
All right. This is a good mentor, because he's not being sensationalist in a way that's negative, overly negative, or getting people pissed off or angry at the unfairness of the world. But he's calling out a problem. He's using science. He's using data. The red pill is going mainstream because much of the red pill, most of it, is true, even though it's sometimes misrepresented by sensationalist people who are overly negative in order to get more clicks and views, or maybe they're just negative, toxic people. But there are some very important parts of the red pill now going mainstream. This guy, almost 4 million subscribers, 3.5 million. Does this guy make a good mentor? Well, watch his Impact Theory channel. Positive message, empowering message, more positive than negative. Absolutely. Does he have receipts? Yeah, he's freaking worth $400 million. He used to be a couch potato that watched TV all day while his wife went to work. He had a massive internal shift. Now he has the receipts. He's worth $400 million. His message is consistent. He meets all the criteria. This is a good mentor, guys. This is who we should be listening to, watching to, and he has red pill knowledge. I don't think he's hardcore red pill, but he's calling it as he sees it with integrity, and he's not shying away from the data, even if it's data that feminists or certain other people don't like. You know, so that is a good mentor. I'll show you the final one here, and then I gotta go. I really do. This guy, he's passed away, but he's one of my personal heroes. I showed you Sean Steven, he died a multimillionaire. He got a PhD in hypnosis, by the way, hypnotherapy, because he knows how powerful it is. This guy is like the Yoda of inner game. This guy is the Yoda of mindset. He had a brittle bone disease. So he was, and by the way, he got married, and his wife, she was like a 6. Her face was a 5, but she had a nice figure. He's a -1. He marries like a 6, who is actually a very nice, sweet, intelligent, high quality woman. So a dude like this, getting a woman like that and making millions of dollars, getting a PhD. He has a book on Amazon. I recommend you read it. Get off your butts. Get off your excuses. Positive message. Receipts out the rear end. He meets all the criteria. Learn more about Sean Stevenson. I don't have time to play this.
Conjure up a lot of ideas of who they think I am.
Look at this. Overcoming challenges in life, the smell of success. This guy is the opposite of black pill. This is the freaking power pill. This is, listen, is life unfair? Yes. Has life been unfair to him? Yes. His life has been much more unfair to him than probably anyone watching this show. Probably. I don't know for sure. I'm not saying people watching this show don't have severe challenges. But listen, this guy overcame them. You can too. You have more power than you know. That's my tagline, baby. You have more power than you know. If he can do it, if he, in the United States, get an attractive woman, he alpha whittled the hell out of her when he died. She loved him. She was a high quality woman. Loved him. He got his PhD despite his defects. He became a multimillionaire despite all the shit life threw at him. He overcame. That's who you want as a mentor, not some guy calling women bitches and hoes and complaining about how unfair the world is and making you pissed off and negative too. That is what you want to look for, because that will empower you. And if you're not empowered, why are you watching the message? You know, why are you exposing you to content that only drags you down? So one more time, here's the criteria, and then I got to go. This is good criteria. If you're not sure whether a show is worth watching or not, put them to the test. If it's mostly negative, get rid of them, because there is science showing that's going to negatively affect and disempower you. Does he walk the walk? Hey, if there's stuff coming out against this person, do some research. Okay, am I just going to blindly defend this guy because I like him? Or is this stuff coming out? Is there actually any truth to it? You know, we got to stay objective so as not to be led astray, so as to empower ourselves. Is the mentor successful? Does he have receipts? Does the information line up with real world data, the science we do? Again, these are not hard and fast rules. Sometimes science is wrong, but these are good guides. Does he have life experience? You know, at least 30 years old. Not 30 years old. Okay, listen to it, but maybe take it with a grain of salt. You know, Sneeko, I think Sneeko has a lot of good ideas, information, but he's a young guy. He has not experienced enough world yet. It doesn't mean you shouldn't listen to him. It means, you know, understand that he's a young dude who hasn't had a lot of life experience and wisdom yet. So take it with a grain of salt. That's just how it is. Nothing against Sneeko. I don't know Sneeko too well. I played his clip at the beginning. He says a lot of stuff that seemed great to me. I don't agree with all of it, but these are good criteria. That's our show for today. My self-hypnosis program that I'm almost done producing, it has a chapter on mentors and tribes. It's very important. So, anyways, that is our show for today. Pep said, thank you, sir. Yeah, I think I played that one before. Glenn Lawrence is cool also. Oh, yeah, Glenn Lawrence. I think I know who that is, and I think I'm supposed to be on his show, but from what I've seen, he's really cool. I'll have to double check, make sure that's who I think it is. Yeah, all right, good comments all. Thanks for watching the show. You have the power to discern, do a little research. Don't just blindly accept whatever you hear. And if you see these red flags, if you see people being hypocritical, contradicting themselves, any of the other things, being overly negative, being overly toxic, it's a red flag, guys. And look for the guys that aren't doing that. I've showed you who I believe are good mentors, who I truly believe, and honestly, they are good mentors. Look to that stuff to up-level your life, to get you more power, because you truly do have more power than you know. That's our show. Thank you.